The corresponding matzah. He was just saying all sorrows are turned to joy. Uh-oh, I lost my little thingy. Oh, I'm sorry. It might be sort of poppy. I'm sorry. Okay. How are you? Excuse me. Sometimes I can hear the difference if I'm thirsty. I can hear like mouth sounds that are not preferable. How are you? What you doing? And how are you doing? And where are you? And what day is it? It's Saturday. 5-something. I've been listening to this guy. He's been teaching about Passover, and that was really interesting to me. And it's where they put I guess originally, I don't know this well enough to even talk about it, but I'll just give you the very gist that I know. That they would put blood on the doorpost. That God said, He gave them very specific instructions to put blood on the doorpost, and the angel of death would pass them by if they saw the blood on the doorpost. So that's Passover, right? I hope that's what it is. I hope that's what it is. I think it is. Okay. If I'm wrong, I'm willing to be wrong. It's fine. I'm not an expert in this stuff. Okay. Okay, hold on. So you put the blood on the door, right? Not the head on the door. Robert Smith. The blood on the door. Okay. I love The Cure. You know, my whole family's a big fan of The Cure. There's certain bands that we all love and we can just like listen to on road trips or whatever, which we don't take many road trips anymore, but when we did, The Cure was always in there. Yes. Okay. So you put the blood on the doorpost, right? And then this angel of death would pass you by. Now, I'm not really sure. I can't remember what in the world that angel was doing there and why. I can't really remember that. All I know is that when the people obeyed the commandment from God, in that case, the command or the order was put the blood on it and you and your family will survive this thing. And that's what happened, right? So they put the blood on the door, and then the angel of death was like, does it trick them into thinking, there's already like been bloodshed there? Or is this a more cognitive creature? I have no idea. I don't know the deets of this. But listen, if you understand the Passover story, then you can understand the Passover lamb. You can understand that applying the word of God to our lives is like applying the blood on the door. You're delivered. And that His blood is what delivered us. It built that beautiful bridge back home again. Back home to love. That reminds me, Bono, I keep hearing sometimes that when it goes on these pro bono, when it goes on autoplay on here, it'll play things that it knows that I like, which obviously is you too. And this time it put on that Tiny Desk concert in which you were saying, like, you said something about God being kicked out of the garden. I didn't understand that, Bono. I'd love an explanation. God's not kicked out of the garden. That's so goofy. Okay. I love you, though. I love you dearly. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's not get sidetracked on that. The point is that Jesus functions when He laid His life down for us. He functions in a way, in a spiritual dimension, as the same way that the Passover, the blood on the door. He also functions in the same way as the serpent on the pole. When Moses lifted the pole, God had gotten, eventually the Lord loses His patience. And that's fair and just, and God is fair and just. Perfectly so. And sometimes, he lost his patience with his sweet peeps in the wilderness. They were, he lost his patience. What he did was he removed the hedge of protection. And here's the thing, especially people of lesser faith may not realize the things that you're being delivered from on a daily basis. Like, you might be annoyed because you dropped your purse and had to spend 5 minutes cleaning it up, but really, it's possible that there's a divine intervention there to prevent you from crossing a certain point in time at a moment in which the enemy might have set something up to hurt you. You never know how God is working in your life. But we do know for sure that the blood of the Lamb is what saves us. We're saved by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. Those two things. And what has God done in our lives? Well, saved a wretch like me. By the time I was probably in my late teens, I had become very detached emotionally. Like, I just didn't want to, just was very repressed and detached. And I started working my way out from that when I got into my 30s, really. It took that whole time of me just... Oh, gosh. Well, because then I'd been through therapy and through graduate school and stuff like that. So you've been through some things by the time you're in your 30s. I remember thinking, I'm so relieved to be out of my 20s. I don't know why. Something about my 20s was just a lot of work. A lot of work on myself. That was a lot of the time where, you're out on your own and you're having to, fend for yourself, and you're having to contend with yourself and contend with the world. And that's where you learn. Like, if you're yoked with someone who's just, oh goodness, maybe they're unwell, maybe they're mean, maybe they're just cold-hearted, mean people. There's people like that. I had to learn the hard way of being yoked with people like that, to learn what I definitely didn't want. And as time went on, the kind of dudes that I've been with have all been, at least from 30 on. Maybe in the later 20s too. There's been some boyfriends that were okay. But really, they just got better and better. They were just sweeter and sweeter people. And I mean better. I don't mean better people, that one's better than another. I mean better for me, like a better match for me. Like, if you have it in you to be a kind-hearted person, and that's how, that's how you are in the world, then you have a fair expectation to share your life with another person that's also kind-hearted, right? It's fair to expect, at a minimum, what you can bring, to the table, right? I don't know how I got into this, but dating over time just really started to change. Especially as I got older, and I started looking for different qualities. Like, when I wanted to have a family, when you get to be in your 30s, you pretty much have to say, I need to find a real sweet guy who's a guy that'll stick around, And that's Ken, and he's still here. He's still here. He and I've really deepened our friendship in the last few weeks. The last year, but especially the last few weeks. Oh, he's getting all healed up. He's still a little gimpy, but he's doing really well. I have to say, I don't really like that place he works. It has a very dark vibe. It's literally dark too. This is like a grocery store. I don't want to be naming it and everything right now, especially if I'm just going to be criticizing it. But when I went in there recently, it was just so dark. It felt sort of creepy. There's a creepy vibe. There's a creepy quality to it. Maybe I talked about this already. I can't remember, but yeah. Anyway, he is I'm sure their ray of sunshine there. When he missed work, I'm sure they all just hated that. Anyway, what else was I going to talk about? What was I saying? I was talking about the Lord and Passover, right? Thank you, Lord. I've seen this comedian. I can't remember his name. I think it might be Sebastian something. I'll find the clip and I'll clip it on there. But this guy is Italian, and he talked about how they're in the same, like, how Italians and Jewish people are very similar. It was really funny. Oh. I'll clip it below. Clip it, nip it, link it. That's what it is, link it. I'll link it for you. How are you doing? How are your links? I've got lots of layers on because I can't really decide. How it is. It's cold is what it is. See, I just let a big burst of chill in there. Okay. See, I keep thinking that it's not going to be cold. It's going to be warm. But then now I've put on 3 or 4 layers now. How many layers do you have on? I don't know how to do that really, but what I like about this, I like the color of this, and it's really soft as well. Okay, what else was I going to talk about here? Okay, I talked about Passover. I like learning about stuff like that. What did he say here? Yeah, he was talking about how you were slaves and then you were freed. And Manish Tana. And then he talked about how there's a war of kingdoms. The kingdoms are at war. We know this. But the war's already been won, really. The hard part's done. That was the Jesus part. He laid his life down. That was the hard part. He did that. That was all we needed. Now we're just appropriating it, and the rest of it's all just a bunch of mind games. Truly. It's a bunch of mind games. And part of it is you deciding who you're going to have faith in. Are you going to have faith in man? Or are you going to have faith in God? Are you going to have faith in the power of wickedness and fear? Or are you going to have faith in the power of love? I keep having this vision, and I remember thinking about this at the around the election. But I keep having this vision of the scene in the cartoon version of the Grinch who stole Christmas. Is that what it's called? The Grinch story. And all those little sweet peeps down there just Yahoo Dore, Yahoo Dore. There's something in the hearts of people who have the courage to really truly love other people that you can't squash, kill, deny. I just don't think we've seen enough examples of people who are really truly leading from love. I mean, I don't really know even who to look up to these days. Who's leading with love? Because I'd like to learn how to do that. Lord, when are you going to be here? I need some training. Oh, he says, you're being trained. You're right. Thank you. You're right. Yeah. Who's leading? Who's leading with love? It's like a pretty different thing to be, you can inspire people to do the right thing. You can inspire people to do good things. You can shame people for not doing the right thing. You can frighten people into, thinking that there's big trouble if you do this or that, or if you say this, or hang out with that person, or whatever. Gross. Speaking of hanging out, Coulson, Machine Gun Kelly, and Justin Bieber. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you all both have little teeny baby sweetsies, right? Little football-sized baby sweets. Now, don't throw them. No. I keep seeing y'all together. I can see Coulson, I see you and your family in an egg, even if you're not together as a couple. God is still, this is what it is. God is protecting that union there, even if you're living separate lives. Because no matter what happens between people, and God always wants families to stay together. I mean, that's always the clear preference. But even if you can't stay together, if there are things, like I've said before, sometimes when certain people get together, it just creates this flammable kind of it's like elements, like different elements coming together, and just like ka-tunk, It's just the power of you, baby sweetsies. Some of you are very powerful beings, and you just, Anyway, whether you're together or not in 3D, you are blessed and held up in the 5D, in the spiritual realm. And Jesus is blessing all of you there. I see the little eggs there, and then your eggs sort of meet. I don't even know if you guys know each other. Well, I mean, now is as good a time as any. Okay. I hate to be interfering in your lives, but I'm just, I show up with what's in my heart, and sometimes it's what God is pressing me with. And what I mean by that is, it'll be a persistent, don't forget this. Okay. Anyway, God bless you guys. I guess that sort of ties into the company you keep, Some friends are not good for each other. Some friends will inspire each other to do bad things. What was weird is that out of people that I knew when I was a young person, I was a person who had a huge amount of freedom, but I didn't really do criminal things. I wasn't like, I'm not really a rule breaker. I mean, besides skipping school. But that's not because I don't love learning. I do. I'd just be like, I don't think I need to go through that today. It's sort of warfare every day when you're a young person and you're forced to be in this environment with all these people who, I don't know. Like in my situation, I would have a friend in each social group. So I would have an entry into every group to be able to see how it is. To be invited around, to kind of see how it is. But it would usually require me to conform more than I would want to. I'm not necessarily a rebellious person, but I'm not into conforming either, especially with group pressure, when people pressure each other and just don't like all that. And maybe, that's an area that I need to grow in. Maybe maybe I can find some kind of therapy group where I can work on issues like that. I don't know. I'm willing to learn. It's just that usually I've just maybe never encountered a group of people that didn't have one of these major toxic elements in it. Like either pressuring you to do shitty things or talking about people in a nasty way. Like I haven't seemed to find... I'd love a group of people who were just cool. If I could find those people, I'd be thrilled. Otherwise, I'll just have to be thrilled on my own. Because I'm not a person who's going to join just a group to join a group, or just like a social thing just to do that. Like, I'm not... Because it feels like work. I mean, that's how it is mostly, even just with friendships. They can feel, one-sided sometimes. But I have work to do in these things, So to keep on working at it. I'll revisit my Irving Yalom. I've run groups before. I think part of it too. I was thinking about this. This might be helpful for you if I share this. I don't want to name names though. See, now I gotta think in a weird way. Now I gotta pretend I'm talking about something new. Okay. I'm good at that part. All right. Well, hold on. Let me stop it and start